Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about 5 tips that will benefit your trees, especially if you are a beginner. And make sure you stick to the end because there will be one bonus and it's very vital for your tree's health. Now we're going to go straight into it. Number 1 will be knowing your tree. You want to make sure you do your research on your tree before you even click that purchase button on a website or wherever you buy it. Research is one of the main fundamentals of keeping your tree alive, knowing your tree, knowing it needs. So basically, if it's a little Chinese elm and you've just got it for Christmas, or you're planning on buying one for yourself at this time of year and it's coming into winter, it's highly likely it's going to need to be kept in for that winter and then placed outside in the spring. Putting it outside now will just absolutely shock it. Now you might want to get a tree like a ficus. You've never had a ficus in your life, don't be putting it out in winter right now. It's an indoor tree or a greenhouse tree. They can go outside during the summer and then they need to come back in come late autumn if the temperatures are not too cold. And that brings us to our indoor-outdoor trees. Now Chinese elms, they are majorly sold as indoor trees, but that all comes back in the past before double glazing came into effect and central heating in houses, where a Chinese elm would absolutely thrive living in your living room. But obviously houses have been updated to keep warmth in and all that type of stuff, that your tree will never thrive inside the house unless you want to keep your central heating off and keep it to a window that gives lots of sunlight and rotating it around constantly. Now if you do want an indoor tree, there are many varieties. I will place a list down here if you do want an indoor tree. I have a few indoor trees and it's mostly jade trees, money trees. Some people over here call them money trees in the UK, but yeah, I've got dwarf cork bark jades and the big leaf jade trees. I'm not going to pronounce names of them, no chance. And maybe you're wondering about winter protection, which brings us to our tip number 3. This is a yes/no answer. If you're lucky like me, I have a garden that's well sheltered from the cold winds, but it does let in a lot of easterly winds when we get them, and I do tend to block them all up into one section to try and help protect them from the cold winds from the east. But majority through the year, it doesn't need any protection. Temperatures around here very rarely drop below 4. I think last week we had a night that went to temperatures at -6 degrees Celsius, and that's a very freak occurrence to where I am. But look up your local climate. It may be very beneficial to whether you need winter protection or not. And don't be worried about your pots being frozen over. It's not going to damage the tree at all. It's just when your pots are frozen over and then you get a nice sunny day the next day, and if your leaves have not dropped, obviously it's going to be trying to gather resources from your roots, and your roots won't be able to give it to them. So therefore you get dieback at the top, and then the wind comes in and that can also affect it also. And tip number 4. Tip number 4 is actually very vital and a lot of people miss. Even I still do it, and it's cleaning your tools after work on your trees, because that little debris left on your tools, even if you can't see it, that can grow bacteria, fungus, and then you're going to be using it on your next tree and it's going to affect infect your tree, and that can cause all sorts of problems. It can kill your tree. Chances of it happening are slim, but I've known it to happen. I've had trees die on me in the past, wondering how on earth did that even happen, and because I was never cleaning my tools. I was just, I still had gunk on tools from a few years back. But now I clean them after every time I use them. Now number 5. This is the hardest one for any beginner to learn, and it's loving your trees too much. You can kill your trees by giving them too much love. I know. It should be the other way around. They should thrive because you absolutely love your trees. You're moving around, you're looking at them, you're prodding around, you're watering them every day because a little manual's told you to. You don't need to water a bonsai tree every day unless it's really hot. Always check your bonsai soil every day. Little plus tip. But anyway, just let your trees rest. Don't be poking them around constantly. Trees don't like too much fuss. They like to be left alone. They like to be left to their own devices to do their own thing. You know, if you're constantly prodding them around and moving around from different rooms to different locations, they are going to get so stressed and they'll punish you for it. So the 5 tips so far, what we've done is to know your trees, cleaning your tools, outdoor, indoor, winter protection if you need it, and kill by love. And now the main tip for you at the end of this, which is your bonus tip, is don't be in such a hurry to get your tree in a nice shallow pot. Shallow pots or any bonsai pot will restrict the growth of your tree and stunt the growth. So yeah, you want a nice big pot for them to grow in for a few years until you're happy with the thickness on them trees. You're happy with the development, and then you can transfer them over to a bonsai pot. But obviously if you're happy with a twig sized tree in your shallow pot and that's what you're happy with, then go ahead and knock yourself out with it. If that's what you like, that is what you like. But if you want to develop your tree, nice big pot with lovely free draining soil, and your tree and yourself will benefit from it. So if you enjoyed this video, please comment, like and subscribe. If not, no worries, and I'll catch you in the next one.